Hello everyone, it's Irene in here again. So today I'm going to bring you another demo of an Otome game, which is Saintess of the Golden Bow. I was going to say bow. Golden Bow. And this is from developer Transparent Games. It's still not out yet. We only have the demo. And it says in here, I have absolutely no idea about this game. It says in here that the story is about Celine. Celine thought her life as an American office worker was mundane. But after a fatal accident, she awakens as a minor character in her favorite tragedy web novel. Oh, is this going to be an Isekai'd kind of one? Okay. Fated to die early as part of the protagonist's backstory. When she defies that fate, she discovers a cruel truth. Death is not the end, but a reset. Trapped in a repeating timeline. Oh my god, is it going to be like one of those where you need to do the same thing over and over again? Celine relives the same doomed events, carrying memories from each failed attempt. With every loop, she uncovers hidden truths, alters key moments, and sets off a butterfly effect that thrusts her into the role of the Saintess of the Golden Bow. Joined by an unforgettable cast, including the valiant knight Levi. Okay, I was trying to think how you would say this. Levi. The valiant knight Levi, the enigmatic mad prince Noah, and the devout high priest Elijah. You must navigate shifting timelines where choices ripple across loops, build relationships, change destinies, and unlock new paths with knowledge gained from past lives as you lead the fight against the demon queen. Each decision weaves a complex web of romance, friendship, and sacrifice. Will you finally break the cycle or remain bound to a tragic fate? Let me just see, I'm seeing the guys now. I really haven't looked at this. Okay, so we have only 3 romantic routes. Although I have 4 guys in here. Oh, there's one that it's a DLC route. Okay. 30 hours of gameplay, but I don't think it's the demo. 10 unique endings. Oh my god, am I going to get bad endings? Am I? I don't want those. Especially when I'm doing this. I never want. Let me just see if I have something in here. No. Okay. Okay. So I don't know how this is going to work, and I don't even know how long this is going to take. I'm kind of expecting the usual, which is kind of 3 hours or something like that, but I don't know. So let's see it. Oh, in terms of configuration, from what I saw in here, you only have you can put the dyslexic font, by the way, but you only have this and nothing more. I don't know, start. Okay, notice. This text box. Notice, other than the first 2 scenes, the game is partially voiced during CGs only. Oh, okay.
Ugh, just my luck. Why does it have to be pouring now? Oh, I want to go home.
God, sometimes when they put these voices they sound so dramatic. Just so dramatic.
I'll be soaked by the time I reach the subway.
I run down the street, passing by shops that already closed long ago. Hunger gnaws at me. That's what I get for working late. I hold my bag over my head, but my attempts to block the rain from soaking me are futile. Cars speeding down the street kick up puddles that shower me in rainwater. This morning the weather report said it wouldn't rain, so I didn't take an umbrella with me or even a hoodie. The damp cold seeps into my body, making me shiver.
This day sucks.
My thoughts wander back to earlier, yet another workday where my boss yelled at me and I had to cover for my sick coworker on top of doing my own tasks. I didn't manage to complete all of my assignments, hence the necessity to stay late at the office. If only I actually got overtime pay every once in a while. Today's Thursday, and I've already worked past closing 3 nights this week. God.
An office job sucks.
They do. I recently graduated from college and got this boring job where all I do is call people to sell them beauty products. Not my dream job at all. Yeah, I've played. I've done, not played, oh my god. I've done a lot of office clerk, general, duty jobs. And yeah, you kind of have, like, in here it's more like you have to do like the work of 3 people, which is like horrible. I was going to talk to you about like staying late in here. It's not that you cannot do it. It's not that your boss will not ask you to do it if needed be. But in my case, I do not stay. I do not. And I actually, because I have an inflammatory disease that doesn't have a cure, I have a right by the state. I just have to deliver like this document to the company, which I have, that they cannot, absolutely cannot ask me by law to stay late. So in my case, they cannot do that to me. Yeah. So there's also like the other side of it, which is like companies like look at me and they're like, oh, then we don't need a person like you. You understand? But in today's job market, I should be grateful to even have a job, shouldn't I?
Adult life sucks.
Yeah. I think like in terms of like general, wide world, in terms of like seeking jobs and having a job and all of it, man, it's crazy right now in terms of that. And I actually feel it. I feel it myself. I think we are reaching a point where we kind of need to take steps that we don't want to take, and you need to have some kind of resilience to actually take those steps and go forward. It hadn't taken me long to tire of my monotony, of getting up in the morning, riding the subway to work, spending all day doing boring tasks, then coming home so exhausted that I
just want to curl up under a blanket and read web novels.
Speaking of which, I got a notification on the web novel app that my favorite book was updated. This is kind of weird, right? We built so many things. I think we are reaching like some kind of a collapse with our society. We managed, along the years, we managed to build so many things for us to have more time and feel more comfortable in our life. And as the time passes by, the more slaves we are to the money and work. Isn't this like freaking crazy? It is.
Being the heroine of a fantasy romance novel would be such an amazing life. Fighting to save a kingdom from impending doom, wielding magical powers, and falling in love with a hottie.
I wouldn't actually prefer that. Like, no. I would just like to be the lazy peon type of person. I should take a look at the app. It's the only solace I get in my sad existence. I pull out my phone and unlock it. I open the app looking at all the updates. I don't care that droplets of water fall onto my screen. I just want to know how many new chapters are live.
I've got so much to read on the subway.
3 new chapters and I'm almost at the subway entrance. Oh, just a little bit more longer and I'll be able to immerse myself in a much more interesting world than the one I live in. I run through the crosswalk.
What?
By the time I look up to see the light was actually red, not green, it's too late. I'm in the middle of the crosswalk with a truck driving straight at me. It's always the same thing when they get Isekai'd. Should I take a step back or run forward? Quick. Thanks, Celine. I take a step back. It hurts. The pain, it's excruciating. My whole body hurts so much. I'm dying, aren't I? The suffering is too great for me to handle. I need to make it stop. I need to let my life go. The next thing I know, I'm floating in a cotton-like substance. I feel comforted, safe even. Have I really died? Am I in heaven now? But I wanted to read the last chapter of my favorite author new web novel. Now I'll never find out what happens to the heroine in the end. Yeah, that's kind of like... Don't you sometimes think about this? Like, you know, like I can't just like go out or even at home. Like I can just like in the next minute I can just die. And I didn't finish reading this chapter or like being with my favorite character and seeing all the things I wanted to see with this character. I mean, we kind of reached this point, haven't we? A chuckle escapes me, a loud sound in this quiet place. I'm pathetic, aren't I? I died and now I'm just thinking of my hobbies, not my parents or my friends. How to put it? I can relate. What is that sound? In the emptiness, I can hear someone singing, an angelic voice. It's calling to me. I need to put my microphone somewhere else. Okay.
You must fight on.
Okay, the voice of these guys reminded me of someone, but I don't know. Okay. I must, but I'm dead. I don't have to do anything. Suddenly I feel a pull. My soul gets grabbed and yanked towards a golden whirlpool. I scream, but no sound comes out of my mouth. I close my eyes. The shifting reality around me makes me feel dizzy. When my senses return to me, the first thing I notice is the fresh scent of a forest. I open my eyes and look around. Lush canopies of trees above me sway gently in a light breeze. There's something heavy in my hand, and when I look down, I see that I'm holding a simple hunting bow. My feet, clad in riding boots, sink into the damp green moss of the forest floor. I'm out hunting, I realize. Wait, how is this possible? I just died and... It's been ages since I handled a bow. The last time I practiced archery was in middle school. You did? You did? Back when my parents could still afford to spoil me. Do you have like... Is that something you have like in there in America? Because I just saw in the description of the story that she's from America. Is that the common thing in there? We do not have nothing of that in here. So like, do you have archery in there? I don't know. Okay. I also hadn't put on such high boots today for work, or these fancy pants, or this jacket. The outfit looks almost like it belongs in a Korean webcomic. Where am I? What is this place? I spin on my heel a few times, taking a better look at my surroundings. Woods, as far as my eyes can see, a peaceful forest. I take another glance, look at my outfit, and run my hands through my long violet hair.
Who am I?
Celeste? Where are you, Celeste?
I realize I'm supposed to be Hiding from what or whom? I don't understand. I only know I must seek cover. The urge to disappear from sight is so strong that I don't even question it. I find a thicket of bushes and dive into them. From my hiding spot, I observe the situation, holding my breath. It's another serif font. I always talk about this, and yeah, I keep seeing them. It's something that when you are actually learning or having someone teaching you about digital content, they will always tell you, try not to go with the serif font. It's just better. This is very straining. Like, people, you that are in there, you're probably like, I'm fine with this. This is something that it was studied, which is serif font and digital content. For really long periods, they strain your eyes. Okay, that's why you always learn when you are taking any type of course or something that you should not use this type of font for any digital type of content. A handsome man with red hair tied back in a ponytail runs towards me. He's wearing some sort of fantasy armor, and he has 2 thin swords on his hips. Sorry, I'm feeling like it's fine. It's totally fine, but I'm feeling like it's a bit... It's a bit more like, I don't know, more like this. I recognize this person. This man is my knight, Levi Parinth. Wait, I don't have a knight. I'm Celine. I'm a 21 years old, simple office worker, fresh out of college with a job in sales. Am I still the person I was half an hour ago, or have I fundamentally changed somehow? No. No matter my outward appearance, I'm still Celine. Levi turns left and right, searching for me.
Celeste? Please, come out!
Failing to discover me, he runs off. I recognize this guy's looks from somewhere, and the name Celeste is familiar too. No. I couldn't have. Did I get reincarnated here? Out of all the books or games that could have been the setting for my reincarnation, why did I have to end up in a BL tragic fantasy web novel? Why this one? What? Are we going to have like a type of like a Otome kind of situation in a BL setting? What? Okay. Then why can't we play the boy? Then I want to play the boy in here. Are we going to steal boys from boys? What is this? Saint of the Golden Bow is the work's name. It was recently adapted as a webcomic. That's how popular it had become. The book used to be one of my favorites, but the world of this story is not a nice place to live. There's a war going on with the Demon Queen. And Celeste, why did I have to be reincarnated as her? What I just witnessed was the opening scene of the book. Before Levi is chosen to become the titular saint, he goes out hunting with his unrequited love, the lady he's serving. Okay, I thought this was a BL. He's supposed to protect Celeste, but he loses sight of her at some point, and an ungodly sound makes the hairs on my skin stand up. What is this? The creature that made the sound appears to be to my right. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen, an abomination, a demon. The imp's leathery wings flap in the air, then the creature flies towards me. It has spotted me. This is the moment when Celeste, the Queries, dies a miserable death to become part of Levi's tragic backstory. But I just died from being hit by a truck. I don't want to die again. Especially not in a scripted event where I'm supposed to just fade away so I can serve as a part of someone else's tragedy. I may have frozen when the truck was driving at me, but no, I won't let death claim me again so easily. Should I just freaking save in here? Kinda concerned. The imp is still far enough away from me to attempt to save my life. I have to act quickly, the monstrosity is coming closer and closer. My hands are sweaty and my arms are shaking.
I refuse to give up!
Shoot the demon with a bow. Call for Levi's help as loudly as you can. Come, my love, and help me. Okay. Levi's is my knight. It's his duty to protect me.
Levi!
I scream his name at the top of my lungs. Tears roll down my cheeks. The imp gets closer and closer to me. My heart beats erratically.
Levi!
I can almost feel its clawed hands ready to dig into my arms when Levi runs out from between the trees, his two swords ready for a fight. Without a moment of hesitation, he impales the monstrosity with one of his weapons and cleanly cuts off its head with the other. I gasp. Levi's movements are so efficient, and he doesn't seem to be bothered by the black demon blood that splashes off his armor. I'm alive. Levi came to save me in time after all. I slump to my knees, still holding the bow in my hand. In the heat of the moment, I forgot that I could have used it to defend myself. What if I had shot and missed, though? Yeah, because I was kind of like thinking. I actually chose him because I thought, she said that the other time she died. So I was like, maybe she died because she tried to do it on her own. Do you understand? So I was like, maybe it was because of that. Levi kneels down before me.
My lady, can you walk?
I don't think so.
I'll carry you.
No, there's no need for...
Oh, the prince is carrying. Levi takes me in his arms, bridal style. The bow slips from between my fingers.
My bow!
Don't worry about the weapon. I will return for your bow later. Right now, it's of utmost importance that I carry you back to the safety of the mansion.
But it's...
No buts. Let me do my job, for once.
By the way, boy, you are grouping her boobs. I don't know if you noticed, but you really are. So Levi walks towards where we left our horses, or so my memory as Celeste recalls. So I really am Celeste now. I'm part of the world of the Saint of the Golden Bow. I'm always like going to say bow. Even though I was supposed to die. So what will my survival mean for the story now? Oh my god, this room. God. All washed up, my lady? After an awkward bath where I had to let my maid Linda wash me, I'm finally dressed in a nightgown and allowed to rest. My body feels weak, the shock of dying, reincarnating, then almost dying again, finally taking a toll on me. I am going to lay down. Is there anything else you need from me? I forgot I'm supposed to formally dismiss Linda whenever I want to be alone. I'm good for now. I'll call for you later if I need anything. All right, my lady. Linda curtsies before me and then she exits the room. I sink into the softness of the mattress, taking a good look around the room. This place has an undeniably expensive, polished, fancy look. Somebody has tried very hard to make the atmosphere more feminine. If the army of teddy bears can be called feminine, I said feminine. Feminine instead of creepy. And I know it wasn't Celeste. The Celeste book mentions is quite a tomboy, caring little for girly things like dolls and decorations. It's so... I don't know. It's not actually pink because it has like this... I don't know, purple kind of feel to it. It's not purple. You have like lavender. It's more like, I don't know, lavender kind of thing. But yeah... She doesn't have good social skills, she lacks proper manners, and she dances like an elephant. Instead, she's great at archery, hunting, and riding horses. However, the society deems all of those activities inappropriate for a lady, and thus she doesn't have many friends. Sounds so much like me in my past life. The only two people who really like Celeste are Levi, who, for some reason that isn't really explained in the book, adores his lady. And... Celeste, are you alright? Okay, I don't actually know how you say it. We would say Eurydice. Eurydice. Kind of like that. Okay, I'm going to try to say it in the way that I can say it. I'm sorry, you probably say this name in another way. Celeste twins sister Eurydice. The book also briefly mentions Eurydice as part of Levi's backstory, simply describing her as the more ladylike twin who loves pink and romance novels. Now, Eurydice, she was the one that was related to poetry, right? Eurydice. I think that in the mythology, I think it was related to that. Just not sure right now. I feel Celeste's emotions for Eurydice in my heart, though. Celeste really cherished her sister. Celeste, I'm alright, thanks for worrying about me. She rushes over to my bed, fixing the pillow under my head and helping me sit up. Well, of course I'm worried about you. You're my beloved sister. What would I do if I lost you? Oh, do we want to keep increasing with the boy? I don't actually know. Okay, yeah, sure. Levi was with me. Nothing bad could have happened to me under his protection. You think I don't know how you always run off from Levi during your hunts, making excuses that you have to be alone because he's stomping too loud, scaring your prey off. Busted. I know that is exactly what Celeste has always done. I take a glance at Celeste's memories, wondering if she ever realized Levi was in love with her, and if running off was her way of trying to avoid the awkwardness of his puppy-like adoration. Oh, is he going to be like that knight that he's always trying to protect her and all of it? I don't know if I like that type. I feel a touch of awkwardness, unsure of how to deal with the way Levi has always viewed her. The situation wasn't comfortable for Celeste at all. You got me. Did you split from Levi this time too, sister? I did. Figures. I really would like to know what happened today, though. Levi babbled something about a demon. I'd like to know more, too, for the matter. Oh, it's the father. Sorry, I thought it was her. Didn't notice. The father walks into the room without knocking or otherwise warning us of his presence. The joy I felt at talking to Eurydice momentarily evaporates. What happened today that's left you so disheveled? I look down at myself. I did get quite roughed up from diving into the bushes earlier, my hair tossed and my skin covered in small scratches. Linda fixed it up though. Now I'm clean and neat and wearing a fresh nightgown. There's nothing disheveled about me. As you can see, I'm fine, thank you for asking. Father huffs. You and your sister's 18th birthday is in 3 days. We are leaving for the capital the day after tomorrow. If you're not healed up and in top form by then, I'll be up and running by tomorrow. My body feels tired and heavy, but it's nothing a bit of sleep can't fix. I see Eurydice scoot slightly to the left, as if taking a step away from Father's negative energy. You better be. I don't want you to ruin the Golden Bow ceremony for your sister. You are forbidden to leave the mansion for the next 3 days. No, don't. I open my mouth to tell him off, but my eyes land on Eurydice. She shakes her head slightly. Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, imagine you feel like you are already in a situation in here, which I don't actually know. Our protagonist, because she read the web novel, she probably knows better of the situation, but I don't know, so I need to understand better the situation. Then I can start making a fuss. To honor her wishes, I decide not to agitate Father any further. Alright, I nod. I don't feel like going hunting or horseback riding anyway. Someone would quickly notice that I'm not as good at those activities as Celeste should be. I'm still not sure how much of her skills I can access for myself. Levi set me in front of himself on his horse to return us to the mansion earlier, so I have no idea if I actually know how to ride a horse myself. I only rode a horse once or twice as Celine when I was a kid, not nearly enough to match Celeste's experience. Now tell me what happened. Levi killed a demon. He? There really was a demon present, not just a rabbit animal? So the story he told me was true. What was such a monstrosity doing in the middle of Lokari Empire's lands? We're far from the warfront. The imp was conveniently there to kill Celeste for Levi's tragedy backstory. I want to tell the truth, but of course I won't. Father and Eurydice would take me for a madwoman if I babble about them being characters from a novel. I don't know, but it attacked me, so I screamed loud enough for Levi to come to my side. He killed the imp in 2 blows. I cannot, sorry. I'm sorry, my friends. Sometimes I feel like it's too loud for me. I know you like to hear the music, but it's a bit loud in my ears. Father sits down on the chair next to the entrance of my room and hides his face in his hands. I knew my daughter wasn't much of a noble lady, but this... My sister and I share a smile. Why wasn't your knight at your side when the demon attacked you? Yeah, that was kind of like our fault, right? I run off on him again. I wanted to hunt on my own. Of course. A big yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth with my hand. Rest. Father gets up and gestures for Eurydice to leave. Eurydice nods and walks behind him out of the room. She turns back to me when she's in my doorway and gives me a warm smile. Get some rest. I'll be back later. I sink more deeply into the bed, making myself comfortable. It doesn't take long for me to fall into dreamless slumber. When I wake up again, the rays of morning sun pour into my room. I get out of the bed and stretch to make sure my body's working properly. I feel refreshed after my long sleep. No more weakness in my limbs. Everything's in order again. I walk to the desk and sit down. I take a fresh sheet of paper. I hesitate when I realize there's only a quill for writing, but I won't be stopped. I produce a few scratchy letters. My handwriting looks horrible. It seems I can't directly access Celeste's skills after all. That's quite convenient. I can manage to write with a quill, but not very well and only in English. Oh, because they probably like talk another language, is that? Okay. Actually, let me tell you, writing with a quill, especially with the handwriting that most people have nowadays, is actually kind of hard. And why am I saying this? Because in the old times, people would write with the quills, and the letters were connected. Do you understand? Like nowadays, we kind of write in a way that feels more like these fonts. Imagine, okay? It's more like you do it in that way. But if you ever have written with a quill, you will notice that writing like this, it's kind of like impossible. You need to do it in a way where you are connecting the letters, otherwise it's just not going to work fine. I have to write down everything I know. It has to do with calligraphy, and to be honest, you probably don't know this. Like in the old generations, people would actually have calligraphy as a subject, like a discipline that you would have at school. I have to write down everything I know about the web novel Saint of the Golden Bow, so I can organize my knowledge of the world and line it up with Celeste's memories. Let's start with the basics. Saint of the Golden Bow is a romantic tragedy fantasy web novel by the Korean web novelist I don't know Korean. Hanuel Kim. They have like a ton of Kims in there. That they do. I read the English translation on one of my favorite web novels and comic apps. The story was supposed... Okay, so... Let me think. Maybe she was kind of like writing in Korean? Maybe? I don't know. The story was supposed to be turned into a webcomic and had promo art, which is how I was able to recognize Levi immediately. His design is the artwork. His design in the artwork even had him in the same outfit he was wearing on the day of the demon attack. Maybe I should also write down. What? What a web comic is. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know why we need to write this. Okay. What a web novel is. Since the beginning of the 21st century, web novels have been immensely popular in South Korea. A web novel is a novel first published on the internet. I think this is just to explain to us. Probably. I don't know. It's just that when you know, you're kind of like, why do I need this? Okay. Readers unlock chapters and interact with what they are reading by posting comments. Web novels tend to be very long in order to maximize engagement. Saint of the Golden Bow was an exception. It wasn't that long of a book, but it still got over 100 chapters. It was translated to English and published on one of my favorite web novels and comic apps. I was grateful for the chance to read it in English, and I don't know Korean. Webcomics are often adaptations of web novels. Each episode is published on a reading app as a long vertical strip. Some even feature music composed specifically for the chapters, but those are rare. Unlike other Asian comics like manga, I'm going to say in the English way, because in Japanese they increase the sound of the vowels. Webcomics are in color. They are published digitally too, though sometimes they also end up being printed as books. There's a very popular genre of webcomics right now called Otome Isekai'd. In those stories, a girl from Earth dies and is reincarnated as a character in a visual novel or web novel. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? I've been Isekai'd, haven't I? Not as a villainess, though, a bad character like in most of those stories. Instead, I'm what is referred to as an extra, an insignificant character. Maybe that's for the best. After all, being a minor character means I couldn't have messed up the story too much by avoiding my planned death in the plot. So what BL is? Boys' love is a genre of Asian media that centers around relationships between two men, but is geared towards the female audience. It's romantic and simply wonderful to watch two men fall in love with each other. I'm really such a simp for good BL romance. I wouldn't put it just in a way of like BL's. Yes, in Japan it's mostly targeted to the female audience, but it's also for the guys, so I wouldn't actually put it in that way. Nothing else? I've got the basics, that's enough. Nothing okay. I get up for a moment and wander over to the mirror. I touch a hand to the glass. The design of Celeste wasn't included in the promo art. I take in my new features. Violet hair and pink eyes, a slender figure. But we are a twin, right? So we would actually look a lot like our sister. Well, unless we were like those types of twins that don't resemble at all. But yeah. There's no denying it. I'm really not Celine anymore. The understanding that I have reincarnated into the novel finally settles in my mind. I feel calm, calmer than I ever thought I would be if something out of a novel suddenly changed the course of my life. As strange as this situation is, I'm Celeste and I have her memories, but somehow I'm Celine as well, equipped with knowledge of this world that Celeste never had. I walk back to the desk and sit back down. The book Saint of the Golden Bow starts with Celeste's death event. Levi was in love with his lady for years, but the actual love interest of the story is Prince Noah. Okay. Celeste has to die at the beginning of the book to make Levi feel at his lowest when the Golden Bow chooses him as the saint. Sorry. Why didn't Celeste save herself if she was said to be so great at archery? I'm glad Levi came to help me. I thought I would have been able to defeat the demon on my own, even though I have some archery skills. It must be book logic. She had to die for the story in The Saint of the Golden Bow to proceed the way it did. Soon after Celeste's death, Levi's quest to save the Lokari Empire from the Demon Queen begins. He doesn't go alone. Noah, as well as High Priest Elijah, the second love interest, both accompany him on the journey. Noah and Levi fall in love, okay. Elijah falls in love with Levi too, but Levi chooses Noah. So yeah, we are really like stealing the boys from boys. I don't know how I feel about this. That's why I was like, I would Dan love to do this as a guy. When the final confrontation with the Demon Queen happens, the love Noah and Levi share is an important component of defeating the Fiend. Through their love, the magic of the weapon becomes stronger. However, this story is a tragic one. Even though Levi defeats the Demon Queen, he perishes in the process. Noah and Elijah live on, and peace returns to Lokari Empire. I remember crying at the end of the book. I've read the novel twice. Saint of the Golden Bow is really one of my favorite stories. I still don't appreciate being reincarnated into this world though, especially not as Celeste, whose only purpose in the story is to add angst to Levi's life. I didn't die when I was supposed to though, and now the story has continued regardless. I wonder how many things will change now because Celeste is alive. Will Levi still be able to fall in love with Noah despite the fact that I am still here? He seems pretty hung up on Celeste after all. I look into Celeste's memories to examine her feelings about Levi. I sense a mixture of emotions, anger, awkwardness, desperation, Celeste didn't like to be on the receiving end of Levi's feelings. She badly wanted him to stop looking at her with romantic intentions. What Celeste really needed was to have a friend in him, not a lover. As a noble lady, she especially found his feelings for her inappropriate. Yeah, my own feelings when it comes to love interests that are knights, it's always like, I don't know, because most of them have like this loyalty thing, which is like, you kind of feel like the girl just wants to go there to pee, and you're still, no, my lady, I need to accompany you. Sometimes they are just so much, like, it feels like they are just so obsessive to protect the lady, that, So, I don't know if he's going to be one of those, but if he is, I'm going to freak out, and I'm going to be like, no. And I'm kind of feeling like maybe he is that type, since she was even trying to run away from him. I can't quite hate Celeste for being cold to Levi now that I know how distressed she was about his love for her. But at the same time, I do pity Levi. If Levi was so in love with Celeste though, how did he move on to Noah so quickly? Yeah, we don't know. His change of heart wasn't really explained in the novel, and I remember some people voicing their opinions on the forums about how unrealistic this plot point was. If Levi and Noah don't fall in love at the end of the quest, will Levi still be able to defeat the Demon Queen? I shudder. What if I've broken this story beyond repair by avoiding my demise? On the day of Celeste and Eurydice's 18th birthday, Father takes us to the capital to attend the Golden Bow ceremony. Levi had his 18th birthday a few days ago as well. Since he's a lower standing than the Count's family, Father got the approval of the church for Levi to attend our ceremony together with us instead of his own few days earlier. Now Eurydice, Levi, and I stand in the middle of the chapel in the royal palace in Solus, Locari's empire's capital. Behind us are the many other people who will be tested. Before us, the high priest Elijah, oh, he's a high priest, okay. Elijah Soren takes a spot behind the titular golden bow, the fabled artifact that will choose the saint one day. I know that day will be today, since Levi is the one who will be chosen. I eye the bow with suspicion. Light reflects off its gold-covered surface. The design is pretty and elaborate. Looks like a pain in the ass to use as a weapon, too ornamental for my taste. It seems huge too.
We are all gathered here today to see if the golden bow, the weapon given to us by our Lord to help us one day defeat the vile demon queen, will finally choose its saint. On this beautiful morning, when the sun's rays fall through the windows of our chapel, let us give our gratitude to the Lord. He has given us means to end the war that has been raging for so many decades.
I've never been particularly religious, even in my past life. I especially don't believe in a fantasy god, but...
Let us give our gratitude.
Let us give our gratitude.
Let us give our gratitude.
She said it like in a way. Let us give our gratitude.
20 years ago, the blessed blacksmith was bestowed with the Lord's inspiration and crafted the golden bow. He worked tirelessly day and night until finally he completed the artifact. Ever since then, the people of the Locari Empire have sought to be tested on the day of their 18th birthday by the golden bow. The artifact will choose its wielder. That person will become the saint and be tasked with defeating the demon queen, who has terrorized our borders for 23 years. I will now call forth today's attendees to be tested. Each of you just needs to touch the golden bow once, and its judgment will be bestowed on you.
Elijah takes out a sheet of paper and reads the first name from the list. Eurydice the Queerest, daughter of Count the Queerest. Eurydice approaches the bow. She puts a hand on the artifact. Nothing happens. Of course, what else did I expect? Levi is the saint. The golden bow will only glow for him. A frown appears on the high priestess' brow as he reads the next name. Celeste the Queerest, daughter of Count the Queerest. I take a deep breath and step into the podium. Reminding myself I shouldn't expect anything, I put my hand on the weapon. For a moment, nothing happens, but then the bow. Why do you use so many words like for different things? So the bow glows, its light getting brighter and brighter with each second. The light feels scorching hot. I close my eyes worrying I'll go blind if I don't. I also don't like, there's like a combination here with the font and the text box that I also don't actually appreciate in this game. But yeah, sure.
You
it's
must
readable though.
fight on.
It's readable though. I don't know who is voicing this angel, but it feels so, I don't know, recognizable or something to me. I don't know. I hear the angelic voice again. Was the bow the one speaking to me when I reincarnated, or was it the god of light himself? The thought that I may have been addressed by a deity is frightening. No. Gods aren't real. You are not religious, Celine. The golden bow. The burning light makes my skin feel like it's on fire, so I take my hand away from the bow. But my hand continues burning, the searing pain climbing up my arm to my chest. I scream. My head is spinning. The pain is too much for me to handle. I want it to stop. 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 Lady Celeste. Sister. Darkness takes me into its comforting embrace. I feel so groggy. I'm in the guest room of the apartment that was assigned to our family when we first arrived at the palace for the ceremony. Lady Celeste can't be the saintess of the golden bow. The role is too dangerous for her. Yeah, he's going to be like that type of knight. I'm not going to like that. Because then they want to protect you so much, then it becomes just exaggerated, you know. There was like, what's the name of it? Something Night. I don't know. It's another Otome game that you have out there, and it's localized in English, where you have like the guy is just so protective of her that I was like, dudes, I cannot with this dude. I turn my head to the left. Levi and Eurydice stand by the door. Neither of them notice I'm awake. Just imagining her going on the dangerous quest to defeat the Demon Queen makes me terrified for her life. We have to stop the church and Empress from declaring her to be the Saintess. Levi, it's not for us to decide who the Saintess is, neither is it the choice of the Church of the Empress. It's the God of Light who singled out Celeste to be the savior of our empire. This must be some kind of mistake. Levi, you are committing blasphemy here. You can go against God's wishes. But Lady Celeste is... Look, I know you're worried for my sister, but please mind your words. If someone other than me hears your opinion about God's choice, you may get in trouble. So I really am the Saintess of the Golden Bow. Sorry. In the morning it's like this. It's because of my allergies. I get like this. Levi and Eurydice turn to me. Eurydice runs up to the bed and takes my hand in hers. Celeste, you are awake. How are you feeling? Fine, I think, just a bit tired. You really scared us in the chapel. You screamed like someone was tearing you apart. The light of the bow entered my body. It felt like it was burning me. That sounds horrible. I squeezed Eurydice's hand, trying to comfort her. I can't be the Saintess. It was supposed to be. I cut myself off when I realized I almost just said, babbled, how do you say it? Whatever. I almost just said that Levi was supposed to be chosen as the saint. Why me? I don't want to be the Saintess. I'm sure you'll do fine. You're excellent at archery. I'm not as confident about my fighting skills as Eurydice is. Celeste may have been good at wielding the bow, but I can't access her full abilities. Judging by my handwriting, I can only manage the bare minimum of what she could do. I'm not proficient in any of her skills. What's going to happen to me now? The Empress has summoned you for an audience 3 hours from now. What does the Empress want with me? She didn't say, but we think she intends to personally congratulate you on your new role. Alright, I suppose I should start getting ready then. First, High Priest Elijah requested to check on you as soon as you woke up. Check on me? With his light magic, he wants to see if your body and mind are alright after being touched by God's grace. I would really prefer to be alone now, but there's no time for me to mull over what has happened. Oh my god, today is one of those days. You know, the issue with this is that I'm reading and sometimes I even have like this lack of air when I'm reading. And this has to do with the allergy and the asthma. So, yeah. Okay, you can tell the High Priest I will see him. I'll go bring him here. Levi turns around and walks out of the room in long strides. Eurydice gives me a comfortable smile. Everything's going to be okay. I hope so too. Silence falls between us, but it's a cozy, warm kind of quiet. I get a feeling that no matter what happens, Eurydice will support me. I envy Celeste for having such a great sister and friend. Maybe I should ask her to clarify some matters for me? Eurydice, what exactly does it mean to have the role of the Saintess? You will have to defeat the Demon Queen by shooting an arrow from the golden bow and striking her heart. You're also expected to become a person people look up to. What do you mean? Someone who people believe will save them. Someone strong and reliable. I already think you're plenty strong and reliable. Now you just need to convince the people that you are. I see. There's also the matter of the Saintess needing to be a key player in the politics of the Empire. Though without the support of a faction, you won't be able to achieve much. A faction? Yes, the Empress rules the Lokari Empire, supported by the Emperor Consort. She has one son, the Crown Prince Noah. Then there are 3 factions in court, each one respectively led by a duke, a duchess, and a viscountess. Do these factions have names? Did I say duchess? You don't say duchess, right? You say duchess. Oh my god, I forgot. Let me check. I'm not 100% sure.
Duchess.
No, Duchess, right? Duchess. Okay, I think I said the correct way. I was like, is it one way or the other? I don't remember. And you know, sometimes I need to check because I don't remember. Do these factions have names? The warlike faction is led by Duke George. They want the Empress to increase support for the war efforts of the Empire. The artistic faction is the group of nobles who flock to the Duchess, Penelope. They want the Empress to focus on supporting creative patronage and research while diverting financial support from the war. Supporting creative patronage. Okay. Then there's the conservative faction led by Viscountess Letitia. They pride themselves on not siding with any political opinion outright. But they are conservative, right? Okay. They support the positions of the other factions as they see fit and try to maintain balance among the politics of the Lokari Empire. Finally, there's the head of the church, High Priest Elijah Soren. He offers the priesthood's opinion and input when it comes to political matters. That's a lot to remember. The political side of being the Saintess will come into play more once you complete the mission to defeat the Demon Queen. You don't need to worry about the politics for now. Am I part of the church now? You are not a priestess, if that's what you're asking. You're still a noble, so you can marry someone of noble standing if you like. You're not sworn like the clergy to only marry within the church. I remember this subplot regarding Elijah. He wasn't able to be with Levi because Elijah was only allowed to marry someone from the priesthood. Forbidden love, a popular trope. It was an unusual plot point for a web novel to explore a religious figure falling in love. Still, people had admired the author for bringing something different to the table, even though the main ship had remained Noah and Levi. Marriage, that feels so far away. We are 18 now, so father will probably help us find suitable suitors soon. Dad, to be honest, to tell you, the marriage, in the old times, the marriage age, you would actually be like, you could even be like 12 or 15 and you already be good to be married. Yeah, it used to be like that. In the old times, of course. I would like to marry for love, if at all possible. Love was one of the components needed to defeat the Demon Queen. Levi and Noah's love. Would I have to fall in love with someone now that I was the Saintess? Do you have someone in mind for marriage? What maybe? You can tell me, I'm not going to tell anybody. Maybe another time, I'm not ready to admit it myself. Alright. It's probably alright, it's just a right. Do you have any other question for me? I'm happy to help. Let's see. How long has the Empire waited for the Saintess? What do we know about the Demon Queen? Those are the questions I have right now. Okay. How long has the Empire waited for the Saintess? 23 years, right? As the High Priest said, the Golden Bow was created by the blessed blacksmith 20 years ago, before we were even born. Yeah, but he said that they were waiting for the whatever heroine for 23 years. They say he worked tireless day and night for 2 weeks to create the artifact. The design was bestowed upon him by the god of light himself. The blessed blacksmith said God told him in a dream that the golden bow will choose its saint when the time is right. Only the saint can yield the weapon and harness its power. What kind of power does the golden bow have? Light aligned magic, the kind that the priests yield. It is said that only an arrow shot from the artifact will be able to kill the Demon Queen. The usual fantasy world MacGuffin 10. For plot reasons, other weapons can harm the ultimate boss. Right, makes sense. It doesn't, but Eurydice doesn't seem to be aware of how ridiculous it is that only one weapon wielded by one special person can kill the enemy that the Empire has been fighting against for decades. Which is true. After the Golden Bow was created, the whole Lokari Empire and our allied kingdom of Durendal were tested to see if the saint was among them. But the savior wasn't found. Later it was decided that every person would get tested on their 18th birthday as suggested by the blessed blacksmith. 20 years passed, but the saint still wasn't found until now. Well, what do we know about the Demon Queen? The people who have seen her say she looks like a beautiful woman, except she also has horns, a tail, and a third eye on her forehead. But she's far from human, she's cruel and dangerous. She kills humans without mercy. She commands an army of demons, vile monstrosities. You saw one. Was it as ugly as they say? The imp wasn't pretty, that's for sure. The war has been going on for 23 years now. Over that time, 1/3 of Lokari Empire's lands to the east have been ravaged by war and infiltrated by the demons. They leave only ruins behind when they take over a town. Their fire is said to be ever burning. You have to travel east to defeat the Demon Queen. She is taken up residence in the Cloudmont Castle. It used to be the seat of Duke maybe you say like, because it's not Cloud, it's Clumo. You make more sense. Clumo, the Duke Clumo and his family. But they have, there are words that you have that they sound too much French to me, and then I feel like I need to say this in a French way, because otherwise it doesn't make sense to me. So, Duke Clumo and his family, but they had to abandon their homeland to the demons 10 years ago. That news doesn't make me want to go to the border at all. It will be like walking straight into the maws of the enemy. I fear you won't have a choice in the matter. The Empress decreed long ago that once the saint or saintess was found, they would immediately embark on the quest to defeat Demon Queen with a party of the most capable fighters. Now, what about we training first and then we do that? I don't know. I just hope you won't have to leave too soon. I think I'll need some time to learn to yield the golden bow and to accept the whole situation. Yeah, I was thinking the same. I'm sure the Empress will understand. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for your helping me sort through everything, sister. That's what I'm here for. One thing's certain, the people of Lokari Empire have been waiting for the Saintess for ages. A lot of faith will be put into your abilities. A lot will be expected from you. I don't envy you. If I could, I would share this burden with you. Thank you. I'm really moved by Eurydice's dedication to me. High Priest Elijah and Count Dequaris have arrived. They can enter. Elijah comes into the room, followed by Father. Levi closes the door behind them, remaining in the living room of our apartment to guard the entrance. When my gaze meets Father's glare, I don't know if I should laugh or cry at the fact that his disposition towards Celeste hasn't changed, even now that she's become the Saintess. I decide not to say anything to Father while Elijah is around. I don't want him to witness a fight between us, and I doubt I can hold my tongue right now. May I sit beside you? Sure. Elijah approaches and sits beside me on the bed. I need to touch you to make sure you're healthy. Is that alright? Is that how light magic works? As someone who reincarnated here from Earth, I have little knowledge about magic. I don't remember a scene like this one with the High Priest in the book. Come to think of it, Levi didn't faint after touching the golden bow. He must have a much stronger resistance to pain than I do. Celeste doesn't know much about magic either. She has no magical powers of her own, after all. Nobody in the Query's family does. I look at Elijah. He stares back at me with a patient smile. The high priest is young for his position, but also really attractive. I never thought I could consider a guy with pink hair dashing. I clear my throat, though I can do nothing to stop my cheeks from burning. All right, go ahead. Elijah surprises me by leaning his forehead against mine. Before I can protest, an aura of white surrounds his body. He's really working his magic on me. I close my eyes and focus on how his magic makes me feel. His touch is pleasant and warm. I become strangely comforted. Before I realize what I'm doing, I lean in closer towards him. Elijah's nervous and surprised chuckle makes me snap out of the comforting embrace of his magic. Your response to light magic is rather strange. I'm sorry. No, don't be sorry. The way you are drawn towards my magic is peculiar, but it's also worth studying. I never met anyone who reacted this way. Perhaps you'll be open to meeting again before we leave on the quest, so that I can further study my magic's influence on you. Sure, we can meet again for research purposes. Sure, we can meet again. I'm likewise curious about why I felt such warmth when the high priest touched me. I'll also be interested in learning more about magic in general. My office will be open for you. Lady Celeste is healthy. I can also confirm that the golden bow's magic has entered her body. She's the Saintess. I hope you won't embarrass me. Thank you for the checkup. You are welcome. I'll go now. Let the Saintess prepare for the audience with the Empress. I'll be present there as well. Thank you for your time, High Priest. Till we meet again. When Elijah leaves, Father turns to Eurydice and Levi. I would like to speak to Celeste alone. Eurydice and Levi give me worried looks, but can do nothing else but leave me alone with Father. So you've gone and done it. Then what? Made yourself the center of attention again. First you fight with bears and wolves and a demon, and now you scream like a madwoman in the middle of the Grand Chapel. You know, you might be thinking like, oh, he's like a really bad guy, you know, really rude type of guy. But I mean, from what we are seeing, she really had this type of inclination of personality. Do you understand? She really was like, oh, I can handle myself, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to fight the bears and the demons, and then I really think, yeah, he's kind of right in a certain way of saying, like, you wanted the attention for yourself, because she was kind of like passing that type of idea to the other people. I'm kind of like feeling like that. She was probably passing that idea. And when you wake up, the high priest confirms you're the Saintess. Huh. How could you possibly carry such an important role? An immature person like you could never become the savior of humanity. I didn't want to become the Saintess. Because the person that the father is visualizing right now, it's that type of rebel tomboy kind of daughter that is not submissive, it's not going to listen, it's going to do whatever, it's probably going to pout. Do you understand? So, like, you are seeing this and you're probably thinking, oh my god, why is he like acting like this? And especially Celine, that she's probably like, what the hell, why are you treating me like this? But he's looking at her and seeing the old Celeste, right? And now you're actually admitting that you didn't want to be chosen by God. So you're a Saintess who rejects being a Saintess. Where's your faith gone? As much as you're a bad fit for the role, you should still carry it with dignity. I'm not sure what father wants from me other than another opportunity to belittle me. I have to wonder why he hates Celeste so much. I think it has to do with the way she probably behaved, and you know, he's a noble guy, and they have other things going on. Yeah. They want their kids to be submissive, probably especially like the daughters to be very submissive to him. Celeste's feelings don't supply me with a direct answer, but as I continue to tap into them, a wave of resentment towards father suddenly washes over me. And now you are mute? I don't actually know, because it's as I said, like, I told you, I'm very straightforward and frontal and all of it, but when I do it, I need to be absolutely sure of what I'm doing in there. And I do kind of feel like, in a certain way, that he might be right in certain things. Like, okay, he doesn't need to come out in this way. But the idea that I have of Celeste is that she probably was kind of like this rebel type of girl that, you know, probably even wanted the attention and all of it. Probably, yeah. So I don't know, should we? At the same time, if I let this go, she would not look as much as herself, right? So I don't actually know. She'll probably stand up. No, I can let him belittle me. Maybe Celeste gave up long ago on interacting with father. I wouldn't think so. I would think that it was the other way around. But I can let him assume he has the right to abuse me. In fact, I chose this one because I'm like, maybe if I continue just swallowing, they are probably going to be like, who is this person? Not the Celeste we know. I may not be the best choice for the Saintess, but I'm going to do my best at fulfilling the role. Just watch me. Father laughs, a mean, unamused sound that chills my bones. You are going to further embarrass this family as you struggle with being a key player in the Locari's empire politics. Do you think being the Saintess involves only shooting the bow? What about bringing hope to all humanity? What about displaying excellent property to earn the favor of the political factions of the Locari's empire? The role of Saintess is wasted on someone as useless as you. His words correspond to fears that have already bloomed in my soul. What if I really can fulfill the role of the Saintess properly? What if Father is right? Get ready for the audience with the Empress. And when we're in the throne room, do your best not to demean the queer's name. All I can do is nod and watch him leave the room. A moment later, Linda appears in the doorway, ready to prepare me for the audience. I probably should do like another save or something. I should keep saving. Because I notice when you get like the choices, you cannot do nothing, you cannot save. This is one of those where you get the choices, you cannot save. 2 hours later, I follow a step behind Father. We walk through the corridors of the palace to the throne room where the Empress and the Emperor consort are waiting for us. We walk in silence, the mood sour thanks to my earlier conversation with Father. Maybe I should use this opportunity to ask Levi, or, putting my pride aside, Father more about the Empress? I don't remember her very well from the novel. I know she's the mother of Noah, the main love interest, and that they have a strained relationship, but no matter how hard I try, I can't remember why. I mean, she's probably more okay with him, but he's going to be more frontal and open about whom she really is. Let me see. Even though I'm sure Father will be rude towards me when I speak to him again, I think he must be the person with the most information about the Empress. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about too. I quicken my step to try and even my walking speed with his. He glances my way and doesn't slow down. What an ass. Father, could you tell me about the Empress? The Empress. I want to be more prepared for the audience ahead. If you had paid attention to your lesson on the Locaris Empire, you wouldn't need to ask me such a question. Yeah, we already know you are like that. I bet our father is like, even with our mother or something, he's probably like a tsundere type of guy. But you've met the Empress yourself, have you not? Of course I have. The Empress is the son of Locaris Empire, the greatest ruler in recent history and a faithful follower of the God of Light. Her marriage to the former and current Durendi prince, the moon of the empire, has sealed our alliance with the kingdom of Durendal in the south. The Radiant Lady rules our country firmly and lawfully, participating in both matters of peace and war. What about Prince Noah? Prince Noah is the Emperor's only son and the crown prince. He's often seen fighting with the Empress during noble gatherings, which has knitted him the name of the Mad Prince. I wouldn't associate with him if I were you. Why? He's even worse at being a poisoned noble than you are. Oh, great. Great, thank you for the compliment, Father. If the Empress is such an admirable person, then I must have nothing to fear from this audience, right? But why then is Prince Noah in conflict with the Empress? You've got a lot to be afraid of, daughter, since the Empress values impeccable manners, which I don't possess according to Father. Before I can ask him more questions, Father stops walking. I look ahead to see High Priest Elijah waiting for us in front of a huge set of double doors. High Priest Elijah. Hello again, Saintess, Count de Queries. Are you ready to enter? Father nods in response to Elijah's words before I can protest. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of what to expect from this audience. Let's enter. The guards in front of the throne room entrance open the door, and Father and Elijah enter the hall. I turn to Levi. As a commoner, he won't be allowed to say anything during the audience, but I still want him present at my side. Come in with me. You'll only be able to stay by the door, but I want you to be there for this conversation. All right. I enter the throne room as well now, Levi following behind me. The Empress is sitting on her throne, and the Emperor Consort is lounging in the smaller chair next to her. A man stands in front of the pair. His clothes are no less colorful than mine, but I feel like his outfit is of a simpler design than those of the men I have seen in this world so far. The embroidery on his vest is beautiful, though, a tangle of vines and flowers. Is this how commoners of this world dress? When our group moves in closer, I notice tremors have overtaken his body. He clenches his hands at his sides. Your Majesty, I beg of you, please help me. The Empress' smile freezes the blood in my veins. She stares at the man with such contempt, and I quickly realize what kind of ruler I'm really up against. My son, he's sick, but I have no money for medicine. Please let me use the magic of the priests free of charge. Elijah's mouth falls open and he takes a step towards the man. But Father grips his shoulder, he shakes his head and says in a low voice, "You don't want to antagonize the Empress." Elijah nods and mouths back. "I will seek out the man later." "Why would I grant you preferential treatment? Begone, I have more important matters to address." The Empress' gaze lands on us, and she beckons with her finger for us to approach. Ignoring the man's protests, two guards drag him out of the throne room. When we come closer to the monarch, I can clearly see why the Empress would be called the Son of the Empire. Her golden dress and crown glister in the sunlight, falling through the floor to ceiling windows of the throne room. But no matter how beautifully dressed the Empress is, her smile makes me think I'm a mouse in front of a lion. At last, the prophesied Saintess stands before me in a flash. I smile and make my best attempt at courtesy, following Celeste's memory. The wince on Father's face tells me I failed to move properly. Father and Elijah make smooth bows. Go with the bows and bows. Thank you for the chance to have an audience with you, Your Majesty. Grace to be in your presence again, O radiant lady. Of course, how could I not gaze upon the chosen heroine with my own eyes? The Empire has been waiting for her for over 20 years. Though I'm surprised your daughter is the one who turned out to be the Saintess, Count Alaric? You probably say Alaric, okay. A nervous chuckle escapes Father's lips. She indeed possesses an affinity for archery, Your Majesty. So I've heard your daughter doesn't act much like a noble lady, does she? She does have a reputation for enjoying quite boyish activities. Father's face turns beet red. He's embarrassed because of me. It seems the Empress finds me lacking as well, and having her, out of all people, displeased with me is not good. So this is how the world goes around. You would come into like this game, you would look at this father and you would be probably pointing fingers at this father. But I am the type of person, I always try to empathize with everything that surrounds me. So there's this also, which is like, we could be like in here judging this guy, and I bet he's probably a hard knuckle type of guy because he's a tsundere too, probably. But facing this is also a situation that a father, a noble father, also has to deal with. If you have a daughter, probably like Celeste's, you will be probably embarrassed in situations like this. So, oh, but he doesn't have like a motive to be talking with us like that. I mean, it kind of depends. You are not in that person's shoes, probably having situations like this, you know? So, yeah, sometimes it comes out as like really rude, but there's also the feelings. Sometimes it's hard for us to empathize with the other people he's leading to, you know? He also has to have a certain dignity with its own society, you know, as a noble man. It's known that the Count Aquarius has two daughters, the one who's a perfect image of a noble lady and the one who's a tomboy. Oh, I thought it was her. It's the Emperor, sorry. I suppose the girl that stands before us, although dressed in finery, is not much of a proper noble. Silence falls into the room. Everyone looks at me, expecting me to answer. Under the sudden attention, my mouth goes dry and I can't find my words. Why did I think I would suddenly gain respect by becoming the Saintess when Celeste's questionable reputation has been spreading for years? Father already told me I was lacking. In a sense, it's good that everyone expects Celeste to be quite lousy at etiquette. After all, I have no idea how to curtsy or properly use fancy utensils or dance like a graceful noble lady. I don't know, I'll do my best. I kind of don't want to just keep beating myself. I'll do my best to be a proper Saintess. I don't want to fail the Empire, be it at archery or proper behavior. So you want us to believe you're suddenly going to improve your etiquette skills and your knowledge of politics. That's what's expected of me now, isn't it? So I will focus on honing my skills with the golden bow, but I will also work hard to fulfill the political side of being the Saintess. Our conversation is interrupted when the door to the throne room bursts open.